So this is the new iPad Air, and we've already unboxed this on Instagram, and if you haven't checked it out, we'll leave our Instagram ID below, but we'll also do a quick refresher for you. Now the iPad Air starts at around 54,900 rupees for the 64GB Wi-Fi only variant, and it goes all the way up to 82,000 rupees for the 256GB variant with Wi-Fi and cellular. Now this is quite a big difference as far as price is concerned, but there is a lot to learn about this iPad that we'll take you through in this video. The iPad Air has a 10.9-inch LED backlit display. Now this is an IPS display with a 2360 by 1640 pixel resolution and 264 pixels per inch as far as the pixel density is concerned. You also do get support for the Apple Pencil, and there is a magnetic charging dock for the Apple Pencil. So if you're somebody who likes drawing, sketching, or even using the Apple Pencil as a stylus, you'll get all of that capability on this device. The iPad Air is also extremely slim at just 6.1 millimeters in terms of its thickness, and it weighs in at about 462 grams if you choose the Wi-Fi plus cellular, and you'll save a gram by choosing only the Wi-Fi variant. If you get the add-on case, they attach to the iPad Air magnetically, and it does provide the ability to protect the front glass as well as work as a stand if you need to do that. So on the iPad Air, you do get an improved front FaceTime HD camera. This is the same camera that you see on the iPad Pro. This does support center stage, and it is an ultra-wide camera. On the back, you do have a 12 megapixel camera as well, which is a standard wide camera. It's not an ultra wide, and it can shoot 4K 60 video along with 1080p at up to 240 frames per second. While the camera is no slouch, you're definitely missing some cameras in comparison to the iPad Pro. You also do get a good amount of microphones, so if you're planning on using this device for voice calls or video calls, you can easily do this using FaceTime inbuilt into the iPad or any of the other third-party applications that are available. You also do get quad speakers in a stereo layout, which is great for audio experiences, as well as the iPad Air is plenty loud if you are planning on using the inbuilt speakers. They're actually quite impressive for the thickness of the tablet and the overall size of the device.
Everybody's different. The best ones can step up.
The Apple M1 chip is a chip that was designed primarily for desktop use. So it was first launched with the MacBook Pro as well as the MacBook Air and also the Mac Mini. So it was designed for a computing use, and later on it was put in the iPad Pro, which seemed fine because that is a really expensive tablet in comparison to the iPad Air. But Apple has validated the popularity of the iPad Air by bringing the M1 chip to the iPad Air. Now this means two things: that not only a lot of people are buying the iPad Air, and the performance ability that you get with the now older Apple M1 chip is actually overkill for the iPad Air, but this also means that the iPad Pro will get a refresh soon. As far as the chip in the iPad Air is concerned, if you're planning on buying this for gaming or anything that requires a lot of processing capability, the iPad Air can basically handle it. As far as the differences between the iPad Pro and the iPad Air go, there aren't a lot of those, but you do have a ton of similarities. So if you're saving up your money to buy the iPad Pro, this might be a good answer to you if you don't want a few things that are different between this and the iPad Pro. The iPad Pro, for one, has Face ID, whereas this only has Touch ID built into the power button on the top. The iPad Pro also has ProMotion display, which if you've used a 120Hz display in your life, you'll definitely find that more as a value proposition than a 60Hz display that you find on the iPad Air. You also do get 100 nits of brightness extra on the iPad Pro, which is basically an insignificant difference for everyday use. And the one big thing that a lot of people in industrial usage or professional usage will find handy is the LiDAR scanner, and additional cameras on the back of the iPad Pro. The LiDAR scanner is great for people who are into architecture or construction because you can basically map out rooms. That feature is also available on iPhones, so if you do have any of the Pro iPhones, then you probably don't need the iPad Pro. If those differences are enough to pay the premium for the iPad Pro, then the iPad Pro is definitely for you. But for a lot of other people who don't need those additional features, the iPad Air will become a much more affordable option to get that performance benchmark that you get with the iPad Pro at a much more affordable price. With its form factor and its capabilities, this is going to be a great tablet for those who want to buy a slightly more premium tablet and want to use it as a replacement for laptops as well. In fact, this also works with the Magic Keyboard that is made for the iPad Pro, and you can simply drop it in and start using it. You can also use third-party keyboards that are designed for iPad Pros, and there will be keyboards available for the iPad Air from third-party manufacturers as well. So here's the thing. If you are waiting to buy an iPad Pro and you think that the iPad Air fulfills all your requirements, then this is definitely a good option for you. If you are using a previous generation of the iPad Air and it's satisfying your needs, then you really don't need to upgrade to this. If you're looking for more performance from your tablet, then the iPad Air is definitely a bigger boost to performance than the previous generation upgrade. Also, finally, if you're looking for a premium tablet that will satisfy mostly all your needs and also work as a sort of laptop replacement, if you buy a keyboard, then this device is definitely a good competitor in that price bracket, with not a lot of options available in the Android or Windows space, specifically in India. That's it for our video. If you're interested in checking out the device, we'll have some affiliate links in the description below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not already a part of Team iGyaan. This has been Bharat. I'll see you guys in the next one.